Victory Monday. Whoa, that's been a while since we've been able to say that, huh? Welcome. Good morning, everybody. Dan Kasper Show is on the air. Radio dials. You got a couple of those babies. 105.1 FM, 790 AM. Also available online. SportsTalk1051.com. Got the Google and Alexa home devices, your Sports Talk app, and, of course, the video stream, which is live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Apologize a little bit for how my voice may sound, but we're back from Green Bay and very little sleep, a little bit of a loss of voice, but boy, was it worth it. Packers getting the victory in overtime against the Dallas Cowboys last night. Well, still hold on to some life if you're looking at the playoff race right here, but lots to discuss with this game, Packers fans. No doubt about it. Get to your text on that Shoe Doctor's bullpen line at 715-830-1912 or on Twitter at DANKASPER, Facebook.com/Kasper Sports. 31-28 victory. Packers coming back from 14 down in the fourth quarter to get the W. At one point, they were looking like they were going to be down 14-0 in the early parts of the game. But Rudy Ford having himself a game on the defensive end or defensive side, getting some more snaps at the safety position. And man, what a wave of emotions. I said it after the game, put it up on Twitter. I can't remember the last time I've been that pumped, been that excited. Leaving Lambeau, watching a game in person over there. And honestly, I think it just boils down to, given how the season's been going and maybe the expectations heading into that game, usually last few years, kind of thinking going into a game, you're going to come away with the W. That hasn't been the case this year. So that's probably a big reason why. So, but just a fantastic day yesterday. Shout out to Myron Construction first, because for the invites for their tailgate party, fantastic fish fry, walleye fish fry too. Big shout out, Bloomer Tony, EC Constructor Andrew. I think that's how your name is on the text line. I'll have to put it up there, but big shout out to the hospitality there too. And oh man, what a fantastic game yesterday. So we'll break it down. Coming up here in just a little bit on the opening drive to get things rolling here this morning. Take a look maybe where things stand in this NFC playoff picture, if you will. But quick turnaround for Green Bay this week because, well, Tennessee's coming to town on Thursday night. Derrick Henry and company. Packers run defense going to have their hands full with Derrick Henry here. But before we get to all that stuff, we'll break it down or recap the game from yesterday coming up here in just a little bit. But send your thoughts on over, all right? You can start sending your thoughts on over, whether it's a quick text or Facebook or Twitter or commenting on the video stream. Bucks will also be back in action tonight. They're going to be taking on the Atlanta Hawks. Bucks falling Friday night to the San Antonio Spurs. Bucks were without Giannis and without Drew Holiday in that game. Javon Carter leading the scorers. Another solid performance from him with 21 points. Brook Lopez, 19. Bobby Portis contributing 16. So Bucks still 10-2 in for their record so far this year. Number 1 in the Eastern Conference yet. So they'll be taking on Atlanta again back at home. What's this, like the third time? Yeah, third time they've already played the Hawks so far this year. So pretty darn familiar with this team already in the early of the season. But then we get that big game against Cleveland on Wednesday. That one should be a lot of fun. But when you're looking at Atlanta's climbed up into the third seed here. Cleveland, kind of in a rough stretch too, because Cleveland was in that second spot in the Eastern Conference, but they've lost their last 4. So they're down to, if you're really paying attention to playoff standings in the early part of this NBA season, they're down to the 4th seed. But little Bucks chat coming at you. Badgers falling to Iowa. It looked like maybe with the Big Ten West kind of still in play for the Badgers when you were looking at everything there. But Iowa coming away with a victory in Iowa. So maybe that kind of takes away there for the Badgers. Now that you look at the Big Ten West, you got Purdue, Illinois up there, Iowa up there too. But also Jimmy Leonard voicing a little frustration after the game towards other teams. Rumors that tampering, mostly around Braylon Allen. Talk about could he go to Michigan? Jimmy Leonard, I'm not going to accuse teams, but there are teams who are tampering with our players right now. Braylon Allen, for what it's worth, said that, I'm paraphrasing, but essentially said, if Jimmy's here, I'll be here. So giving a ringing endorsement to his current interim head coach, Jimmy Leonard. Badgers getting set to take on Nebraska. Just 2 more games left in the regular season for the Wisconsin Badgers. So we'll talk a little college football as well. Also on the docket, MLB free agency's kind of been at least fairly quiet, right? You've had some moves here, but none of the biggest fish. None of the biggest fish out there. So I know, like this week, awards week for Major League Baseball, but I think we're all kind of waiting to see some of the big free agents, and that might not come until December, especially with winter meetings and stuff. But if anything, we'll keep you in tune to that. On the local side of things, shout out, congrats to Eau Claire Regis football heading back to states. Will not be against as to Cashton. Cashton fell, but Regis advancing. Mondovi is advancing as well in Division 6. That should be a really, really fun game for their state championship game, going up against Stratford. Mondovi versus Stratford. That should be a fantastic game to watch. So congrats to those teams and to all the high school football teams if their season's wrapped up. So we got Blue Gold's volleyball. Their season, as we said on Friday, ended in the first round. Men's soccer, though, they get their first win in tournament, but then falling in penalty kicks in game 2. But fantastic start to their program in the first couple of years there. Football, Blue Golds and Stout both ending their seasons on losses for the regular season. So we are getting set now for really, really diving into the winter season, if you know what I mean. I know basketball and hockey's kind of gotten underway, but now that you got football wrapped up and soccer and volleyball kind of really shifting gears now to the winter season. So, what else we got on the docket here this morning? We got a fired up Monday. Who's got you or what's got you fired up? You can hit us up with those texts or tweets or Facebook. Could be anything. Could be maybe something. Maybe one of you guys, maybe one of you, tagged out or something like that. Anybody having any luck heading into the opener this weekend? Maybe any last minute bow hunting success out there? Maybe that's what's got you fired up. Maybe the fact that opening weekend's coming up here has got you fired up. So, what's got you fired up? Yeah, you can hit us up there too. We'll do a little studs and duds. Who's your studs? Who's your duds? We'll hit that up as well too, and little motivational Monday. A little motivational Monday too. So, plenty to get to here this morning. Let's get things rolling. Hopefully, the voice lasts till 9 a.m. here this morning. But Packers getting the W right now, or last night, over the Dallas Cowboys, and Mike McCarthy's return to Lambeau Field, 31-28. It was a game of emotions. It was a games of back and forth, highs and lows. But Packers grinding it out, showing some grit, clawing back in, making plays when plays needed to be made, and they come away with victory. Aaron Rodgers only threw the ball 20 times, 14 of 20, 224 and 3 tuds, all touchdown passes to Christian Watson, who, if you were listening on Friday, I was like, come on, we got to see a Christian Watson bust out game. Let's unleash Christian Watson. We got nothing to lose. Let's be a little bit more aggressive. And well, they were with him. Aaron Jones setting the tone, 24 carries, 138 yards. A.J. Dillon, 13 carries, 65 yards. Both those running backs averaging over 5 yards per carry. I mean, Watkins even getting a couple big catches, 3 catches, 47. Alan Lazard with that big play in overtime, 3rd and 1 slant, picking it up there. Isaiah McDuffie leading the team in tackles. As we said, Rudy Ford. I keep wanting to call him TJ Ford. I kept calling him TJ Ford. Of course, former Milwaukee Bucks point guard from University of Texas. But, yeah. And then I know Amari Rodgers, who, yikes, 4 fumbles on returns so far this year. And I know Matt LaFleur afterwards kind of non-committal on the future of Amari Rodgers and that punt return spot, but I think it was kind of a foregone conclusion after the punt, and you didn't see him on the field with those punt returns. It went to Nixon, who's been returning kicks since then. So, but yeah, time's got to be running out. You'd think. So, but let's get things rolling. All right, I want to hear from you. Start sending me some messages, your thoughts on the game from yesterday. We'll take that quick break, and then the opening drive. When was the last time we had a victory Monday? It's been a while. Let's embrace it. Let's enjoy it. We'll be back after these few words. Want to give another big thanks to Hy-Vee. Last Friday, we were broadcasting the program from over there for Veterans Day, for free breakfast for veterans and those who currently serve. It was a lot. It was great to see. I mean, a constant flow of people coming through here. Big thanks to those who stopped by, even just to say hi and thank a veteran. And that Dr. Crow stopping by too. Brandon, of course, over there. But big shout out to Hy-Vee for doing that for our veterans and those who currently serve and their families. I had a chance to check out that map where all the where people were veterans and those who were serving were putting where they served and all that, and it was just wow. I mean, just to see all the different locations and all around the world that they were at. So big thanks to those who served and are continuing to serve. And again, thanks for our good friends over at Hy-Vee for what they were doing on Friday. That was really good. That was a lot of fun. They're over there too. So I wanted to give another shout out and big thanks too. Steve from Eau Claire was over saying hi there too. Steve from Eau Claire also chiming in here this morning. Go Paco. Still can't catch the Vikings. Yeah, I mean, division pipe dream right now. I mean, that's their Vikings with a hell of a win against Buffalo yesterday too. That catch by Justin Jefferson. Hey now, oh boy, that was a damn highlight catch there. But what a finish at the end there too, the back and forth and such. But yeah, I mean, I don't know too many people who thinking still division or anything like that. But I think they just want a spot in the dance at this point. But with the win and everything else that kind of played out yesterday, Packers did move up 3 spots, and I think last I checked late last night on the way back was, or after Sunday Night Football last night, was their 9th. Washington's ahead of them. I think they got Washington and Philly coming up here, but yeah, not out of it. Not out of it. Not yet, given how the rest of the NFC is shaping up here, but still tough stretch with the schedule coming up here, and you got a short week after an emotional win last night. You gotta put that to the side. Celebrate last night. Feel good about it last night. Then it's on to Tennessee, because Tennessee's coming to town on Thursday night with King Henry, Derrick Henry, and that running game. So enjoy it, live it up, which we'll do today. But then it's a quick turnaround and still a must-win game against Tennessee on Thursday. So let's get things rolling here on this opening drive. Packers with that 31-28 victory in overtime against the Dallas Cowboys. Packers looked like at first they were going to be down 14-0 in the early parts of the game in the second quarter there, but Rudy Ford making the pick in the end zone. Packers capitalized with a touchdown. Rudy Ford with another pick. Packers capitalized with another touchdown to go up 14-7. But then Cowboys taking some momentum away before the half as they were able to tie it up. Packers were able to get the ball, or Packers were getting the ball back in the second half there, but Mario Rodgers fumble again on a punt return, and earlier in the game too, he bobbled a punt. Cowboys jumping out to a 28-14 lead in the fourth quarter, heading into the fourth quarter, and Packers offense. Who would have thought? Who would have thunk? It would be the Packers offense able to put up 14 points in that fourth quarter, tie it up, go to overtime. Dallas stops the Cowboys on 4th and 3. A lot of people second guessing the decision by Mike McCarthy and the Cowboys to go for it on 4th and 3. Packers defense stopped them. Packers able to move the ball down the field thanks to a 3rd and 1 slant pass to Allen Lazard. And then Mason Crosby with the walk-off field goal, 31-28. A game full of emotions and ups and downs. And, I mean, just being in the stadium, it was like, oh, boy, you know, the waves of emotions. At first you're thinking, oh, good God, it's going to be 14-0. Then the pick, and then you're up 14-7. You're feeling good, and then it's like got tied up, and then the fumbled punt, and it's like, oh Lord, come on! And then they claw back into it, and then you're just like, the energy and the intensity in that stadium. Holy moly. Like I said earlier, I can't remember another game leaving Lambeau where I was that jacked up, that pumped up after a win. And a lot of it had to do with the fact that I think coming in, if Green Bay was going to win, it was going to be an upset. And you can't say that too many times in the last few years. Kind of go into Lambeau and you're thinking you've got the mindset that you're expecting a W. You're expecting the win. Last night was a little bit different, and they got it. You're pumped up. You're jacked up. So that was pretty cool. Obviously, we could point to a couple of, negatives and that sort of stuff. We'll get to that. But let's focus on the positives to begin the morning. Let's focus on this. How about the commitment to the run game last night? We'll start off with the offense. We'll get to the defense here in a sec. But let's start off with the commitment to the run game. Aaron Jones, 24 carries, $138. A.J. Dillon, 13 carries, 65 yards. Packers ran the ball, if you want to count Aaron Rodgers, 2 scrambles there too. But Packers ran the ball for 39 times. 39 times. Only threw the ball 20 times. Doubling it up in the run game. Doubling it up. Rodgers going 14 of 20 for 224 and 3 touchdowns. But sticking to that run. Having success. Not only sticking with the run. It's one thing to stick with the run, but having success running the football too. So sticking with it and having success, setting up that play action and taking advantage of some throws down the field. That was, can we all agree? I mean, outside of the scoring and that, but probably the most or the best offensive performance from what we've seen from Green Bay this year. Maybe the most, I wouldn't say fully complete, but maybe the most complete-ish. I mean, that's the type of offense that we've probably would have liked to have seen earlier this year. Committing to the run, opening up the play action, taking some shots down the field, throwing the ball down the field. That's what we wanted to see. And, Christian Watson dropping a couple balls in the early parts of the in the contest. But going back to him, that deep pass to Watson, that was right in front of us. And the angle that we could see is like, you could tell right away, it's like Watson got him. But it's like everybody was just kind of holding on to their breath. Like, is he going to catch it? And he made it. You can just tell it was like getting the monkey off his back, getting all, like Aaron Rodgers said after the game, exercising the demons, getting that tud, gaining that confidence. And then he follows it up by a couple more touchdowns there too. So give the kid credit. Give Christian Watson a lot of credit. Because some of the boo birds were coming out with Watson in the early part of the game with those drops. Frustration. But he bounced back and had a fantastic game last night. Offensive line, I got to give them a little bit of a shout out too. When you're looking at, Dallas's defense, they finished the game with 2 sacks, but this was a Dallas defense that, can get after the quarterback. Parsons, Lawrence. We were talking Friday, offensive line play. It's got to start up front. Protect, opening up the run hole or running game. And I thought the offensive line did a pretty darn good job. I thought they did a pretty darn good job last night. When you have success running the football and you stay committed to that, you're neutralizing that pass rush. You're neutralizing Micah Parsons. You're neutralizing DeMarcus Lawrence. Lawrence did have a sack last night. Parsons, he didn't. Micah Parsons didn't even have a quarterback hit last night. So I got to give a big thumbs up, shout out to the offensive line play too. I mean, there was a couple of hiccups. It wasn't like 100% clean by any means, but having that success with that running game, building that confidence, what a trickle-down effect, huh? What a trickle-down effect. Defensively, I think we got to start with this kid, Rudy Ford. You know, he was a addition before the season. Jacksonville releases him. Packers pick him up, mostly for special teams play. Then you see him in the early parts of the game opening up in the back end with at that safety spot, Savage playing a little bit of the nickel slot. Like, all right. But Rudy Ford, not only with the 2 picks, but there was a couple plays where he was like shot out of a cannon, helping out in the run game. I mean, there was one play in particular, as a running play. And I think Pollard, still gained like 5 yards or anything, but there was a lot of green. And all of a sudden you just see Rudy Ford like fly in there and make the play. The instincts were there. So when we look at this defense, I think it starts with Rudy Ford. You got to give that guy a lot of credit. Got an opportunity to make some plays on defense, to get some more snaps on defense, not just be a special teams guy. And he took full advantage of it last night. Give him a lot of credit. He did fantastic. I'll be curious to know too, like what when I don't know if they're out yet or not. I'll have to look it up. But like Jair Alexander's grade, I'll be curious to know what like his Pro Football Focus grade was, because I mean there were times where he had some big pass breakups in that game too, and some big moments, and that's what you want from your number one corner, right? I mean, if you're going to pay him all that much, the highest paid corner in the league, he's got to have those shutdown moments. And Jair made some big plays last night. Pass defense. Savage, though, struggling a little bit miscommunication there. A couple times in the game. CD Lamb, when he was matched up against Savage, a few times, taking advantage of that. Cowboys able to expose that. You're looking at, CD Lamb's numbers. He went 11 catches for $150. I'll have to look up, but I'd like to know the breakdown of what, those catches were lined up across like Savage, what those numbers were for CD Lamb compared to Jair. The Packers capitalizing on turnovers too. I think that was the big thing, capitalizing on those 2 picks. It was huge. And, Green Bay, remember, they fumbled the ball technically 3 times, but lost only 2 of them, because you remember the Aaron Rodgers one too. And you're just like, whew. But it was just like a gritty gut-out performance. Like you could tell they never gave up. Down 14 in the 4th. I mean, looking at, the other few games, it's like, yeah, that's probably the nail in the coffin there. They grinded it out. They gritted it out. And you could just tell it was like, after the game was over, it was like a big sigh of relief, especially from Matt LaFleur. He was pretty emotional in the locker room talking to his team, choked up a little bit in the in his media availability and his post-game presser. I mean, and maybe I'll play the clip coming up here after the break. But you can just tell it was like, obviously he's not used to going through a stretch of losing what? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 in a row. Just like felt like, oh, finally getting through it. Got it done. Got back in the win column. We got a victory Monday. Only got a quick turnaround. Got to get it out of your mind now. Got to get out of your mind today. Got to focus on Tennessee. Still in it. That was like the biggest thing I take away from the game last night was just the grit. Because how many times did we see so far this year, you're down 14 or something like that, and you just didn't have the confidence that they were going to be able to come back from that. Like that was too much of a lead to come back from. They grinded it out and got her done. And I know, hey, this team is still 4-6. This very well might be the most positive thing this team has all year. I don't want to try to make it out like here we go, Super Bowl undefeated run there. I mean, obviously, I'm hoping that would be the case. That would be absolutely awesome. But I think after these 5 weeks, having a game like that, fans should be a little pumped up. They should be a little bit excited. Season hasn't gone the way that we had all hoped, the way that we all expected. Enjoy the win. Enjoy it. Live it up. But then, after the day, after about let's say 5 o'clock today, all right, move on to Tennessee. We're on to Tennessee. But I know, some Packers fans might get a little flack from some other fans for being pumped up about this game. You're like, oh, you're still 4-6 and all. Yeah. This season has been poo-poo. It's been down. But you know what? We'll take these victories when we can get them now. And that was a fun game last night. That was a fun game. Back and forth. The ups and downs. The emotion going back and forth. Holy moly. It was like Ron Burgundy in the phone booth with a glass case of emotion. That's what it felt like there. And then to get that big W, you should be celebrating. You should be happy. You should be pumped. You should be excited. Yeah, it's still 4-6. Yeah, it's still a huge mountain to climb. But come on. Let's be a little bit jacked up about a victory, huh? Right? I mean, for crying out loud, if you'd listen to G-Man on Friday, bet your 401k, you're probably a millionaire this morning. I'm sure G-Man probably just doubled his 401k from, I don't know, it might be a couple bucks to a few bucks now for as much as he probably bet your 401k there, G-Man. But nonetheless, let's be excited. Let's get jacked up. Might be the only time for the rest of the season. You never know. Oh, great game last night. Not a complete game, but probably the closest to a fully complete game, right? Probably closest. But, if we want to look at some of the down parts of that game, yeah, Amari Rodgers, man. Oof. I don't know. Man. It's just, you're at the point now when you're watching it. Amari was it earlier in the year, especially, I think it was mostly like in training camp. Rich Bisaccia was kind of on him a little bit saying, fair catching too early. Let's see some returns. Fair catching too early. Catching it, and there's now a defender in like 10, 15 yards. Now we maybe know why he was fair catching it. Kind of half joking there a little bit, but now it's just like you're praying that, okay, just hold on to the football. Hold on to the dang football. You just have to wonder if that confidence now is starting to creep in to his mind here a little bit. Kind of feeling it. Kind of like self-doubt. Whew. But it's definitely like if you're not holding your breath every time you see a punt or a punt return, man. All right, we got to take a quick break. Load up the coffee. We got a couple hours of sleep, but we're still rolling, baby, on this Victory Monday. It's been a little bit. Let's embrace it. We'll be back after these words. you haven't noticed, we're heading into the busy driving season, especially if you head to the mall area now on the weekends. It's nuts. But the holidays are coming up, and while you're planning your trips and visits, don't forget about one important thing when it comes to making those trips and visits, and stopping by ASAP Used Auto Parts and getting your vehicle ready to hit the road. This busy travel season also comes with the changing of the seasons to winter. Heading over to Green Bay yesterday, saw some peeps get some little bit of snow, saw some vehicles covered in snow and ice there too. I don't think we got any over here, right? But that also means, we've got that snow and colder temperatures coming. So more important to make sure your vehicle is ready for all these road trips and family visits coming up. It can get a little hectic around this time of year as you're trying to juggle a bunch of different things on your calendar. But things can get more stressful if you don't take care of that vehicle of yours. So if you need those new tires on your vehicle, ASAP Used Auto Parts offers a wide variety of tires to choose from, all at the best prices in the Chippewa Valley. And don't get stranded with a dead battery. ASAP Used Auto Parts can hook you up with a new battery to help make sure your vehicle starts on those cold days. It's going to get cold this weekend. Need an oil change? They do that too. So while you're planning your holiday traveling, don't forget to plan for your vehicle. Let ASAP Used Auto Parts help help take some of that stress off your plate and help get your vehicle ready for this winter. All right, let's continue with Victory Monday here this morning. C-Bomb, how's it going, man?
Good Victory Monday morning, El Capitano. How you doing, my brother?
Oh, I'm probably doing the same as you, man. I'm doing the same as you, brother. Oh, how's the voice doing?
Oh, the voice is on life alert right now. But I'll tell you what, Dan, I feel for you, brother, because I got to sleep until 6 o'clock. You were up at like 3 a.m. to come in and do the show, so I feel for you. You better have a good pot of coffee on you.
Oh, I got tea right now. I might have to Uber some coffee. Is it Uber or Eat Street or whatever it is? Some coffee in here this morning. It's worth it though for a Victory Monday in a game like that last night, bud. You and I were there.
You're gosh dang tootin'. What a game. You were, hey, and to the listeners in the Chippewa Valley, Dan was fired up. I mean, I probably should have had some body armor on. You were swinging hard. That was yeah, you were stoked. And what a game. I'll tell you what. I was telling my wife, the way they had been playing, my excitement level for driving all the way across the state and watching them get their butts kicked, I was obviously excited to go to Lambeau. You can never take a trip to Lambeau for granted. But it turned out to be one of the best games I have ever been to. And, the emotions were up and down. And, you said it earlier, it wasn't 100% clean. But that is the most, want to out of that team that I've seen in the last couple of years, actually.
Yeah.
And I got to give a shout out to Joe Barry. As much as I complained about him in the first half, when Dallas walked down the field and scored right before halftime, I was hoping they would string him up and throw him over the top of the stadium and get him out of there. But that second half, they buckled down, and he did not go into that weak cover two shell and let them just walk down the field. He was bringing the blitz, and they were not giving Prescott time, and it was effective. And I hope he learned from that. What a game all around. Sticking with the run, down 2 touchdowns against the number 1 defense in the league. A week after, dropping a turd against the worst defense in the league in Detroit, to come out and move the ball like that, and Christian Watson, like you called it on Friday, having a breakout performance. What a game. But a turnaround. So not too long to enjoy it, but I'm going to enjoy it today.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to enjoy it today, too. And, I've been to a few games with you, C-Bomb. I'm usually kind of fairly quiet at games. I don't get too animated. I was pretty animated after that game, or during the game, too. Holy moly. And I think it was just because we were kind of talking about it a little bit afterwards. Kind of went in with, the expectation. And I know you said you kind of thought Green Bay would win, or you thought they could win that game. But, I mean, given how the season's going and maybe a little bit of a lower expectation, they are able to pull it out. That's what had me fired up. That's my fired up this morning. I was fired up. You're right. C-Bomb probably broke his elbow a couple times and maybe has some bruises on him around him there too. But, it was worth it.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I haven't even looked, but boy, she is sore. Those seats have some hard swing my elbow down, boom, right on the edge of it twice. Oh, it hurt. But I'll tell you what. Yeah, that was talk about, and I've been to countless games at Lambeau Field, but it's rare you see them at home go down 2 tuds. And it's even rarer to see them go down at home 2-touch and then fight back, go to overtime, and win.
Mm-hmm.
So it was in a game that they shouldn't have won. So, you flip the coin, and the Dallas faithful are probably like, we didn't play a good game. Went into Lambeau, we lost, they're disappointed. Maybe they didn't. Maybe their team wasn't up for this game like Green Bay needed to be, because let's face it, every game right now is a must-win. We might be able to afford one more loss if they truly want to make the playoffs. So,
yeah.
Huge climbing, the schedule to climb yet. They got Tennessee, they got the Eagles, they got a lot of tough games ahead of them. So, like you said, I'm not counting on this team to turn it around and go to the Super Bowl, but it was promising to see, and it's sad that it took this long into the season to see the team want to fight and want to win a game. But they really, and you talked about Rudy Ford, and without Rashawn Gary, I mean, they found a way to get it done, and it was fun to watch.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. So, hey, big thanks again yesterday. See Bob doing the driving and that, and I know I gave a shout out to fantastic tailgate from Myron for inviting us too. So all around, it was a really awesome day yesterday. It was a lot of fun.
That was a great day. Lake Erie walleye. I have never had a fish fry for a tailgate. Myron Construction, they went all out. Boy, that was phenomenal. And it was a great time. They had Red Zone on the TV there, so we were able to watch football as we got ready to walk over and find our other tailgate that we ended up not finding. But it was a great time, Dan. Thanks for coming down. It was a lot of fun, and it was a great game to be at. And I can't wait to watch the recording to see, how they discussed it on the game on TV. Because being there, I mean, you felt that after that fumbled punt, the Packers had gained some momentum. They scored. Rodgers fumbles it. They go in and score, and it just deflated the place. It's like, here we go again.
Yep, totally agree. Totally agree.
Boy, oh boy, up and down. And shout out to all the Dallas fans that were there. They were class acts. I didn't see anybody, having any problems. So it was a great day, great atmosphere at Lambeau as normal.
It was, and you know what? You make a good point about the Cowboys fans there too, because for some of the stuff that C-Bomb was giving them a hard time, they were laughing about it and all that stuff. So at least our section, it was pretty good. It was pretty darn good. It was a good section. A lot of fun.
Very good section. Very good game. Fired up, quick turnaround. And Dan, I know this Thursday you're going to have your unveiling of your Man Cave light. I wanted to be there, but I have to bowl Thursday night, so I'm going to have to come out early before bowling and say hello.
All right. Well, if you're going to be there early, I'll be there early too. We'll work that out. Okay.
Right on, my brother. Hey, go Pack, go! You have a great week, El Capitano. Thanks for having me.
You too, bud. There you go. There's C-Bomb hopping off right now. Holy moly! We got 2 more hours of this thing, baby. All right. Here's let me play a little bit of a clip here from Matt LaFleur after the game. I got to double check the locker room one. I don't know if I can with some of the you never know with language, in the locker room there. So this is a post-game press conference from Matt LaFleur last night, showing a little emotion.
You said it was hard for you not to get emotional after the game. We don't get to see that from you very often. What did that look like, and what did it feel like for you? Because you have been standing up there talking about a lot of negative things in the last 5 weeks from us.
Yeah, it was more when I went into my own locker. I had to kind of gather myself quickly and then talking in front of the team. I care about these guys, and like we put a lot into this, and it is tough at times. And I apologize, but it means a lot to us. And to be down and to fight and continue to fight, that's what you want to see. I don't mean to make this awkward. I apologize.
All right, no, just a little bit there. You haven't seen the video, and you're like, "Ooh, he's choking up, putting his head down quite a bit." And I think it's just, this is a coach who, his first 3 years had a whole lot of success, winning a lot of ball games in the regular season, going to a couple of NFC Championship games. And this year, in his 4th year, a lot of adversity, A lot of more downs than ups. I think that's safe to say. Going through this 5-game losing streak, kind of in a year where it was like maybe the last push, kind of putting all your chips in, just nothing working. And it was kind of like, all right, finally got that losing streak over with. Finally got it done. But it's pretty much the playoffs now. I mean, for throughout the rest of the regular season. I mean, I think that's got what you have to treat it, and not ideal to treat it that way halfway through November all the way on, but it's kind of where they're at, and nobody to blame but themselves. There's nobody to blame but Green Bay's self to be in this position, to where you maybe can afford one more loss, like C-Bomb said. Tennessee playoff team, Philly playoff team. Chicago is not going to be a pushover in Chicago. I mean, look at their offense. Justin Fields. They put up the rushing totals up on the Jumbotron yesterday. He's 5th in the league in rushing. Not from quarterback. We're talking everybody. Justin Fields is 5th in rushing yards. That offense they figured something out there. Luke Getsy and company, former Packers quarterback coach. They've figured out something. I know they lost yesterday, but that offense, they've got something going. Then you got the bye. And then you got a desperate Rams team coming up off your bye. And then a date with the high-flying Miami Dolphins on Christmas Day in Miami. And then Minnesota. I mean, this is a brutal finish to your schedule here. You're talking about, okay, so you beat potentially one playoff team with Dallas yesterday. Number 1. Tennessee, playoff team. Philly, playoff team. Chicago, no. Rams, probably not, but defending Super Bowl champs. Miami, Minnesota. So it pretty much is kind of like the playoffs right now. Kind of is. All right. G-Man, I know G-Man's going to be there Thursday. He's fired up for Thursday nights. So, yeah, quick turnaround. We'll be there. Hy-Vee Thursday night, launching the Man Cave lights. Got the $10 combo special with the Dan Good Burgers over there, too. So we'll start at around 6:30 up until about halftime of the Green Bay, Tennessee game on Thursday. But Hunters, too. Be a good little send-off before you head up to the cabins, head out to the woods. Our DNR friend, Mr. Jake Bulks, will be there too, answering any questions, any last-minute questions you may have for your upcoming hunting season or just hunting or fishing in general. So hopefully quite a few of you will be able to stop by and try a little Man Cave light. All right, 1 hour in. We got a couple more to go. What's got you fired up? What's got me fired up? It's easy. I'm going to piggyback off of last night. That was the game. Rest of you, what's got you fired up? You can hit us up with a text, tweet, or Facebook. Your studs and duds, we'll hit that up in the 8 o'clock hour. We'll get a motivational Monday coming at you as well. We'll probably do that around 7:40, 7:45 as we finish up the second hour. I want to hit up a little Bucks chat. Bucks back in action tonight. Badger football falling to Iowa. Jimmy Leonard frustrated, not necessarily with his team, but frustrated with other teams potentially tampering. All right, so we'll hit that up too. So plenty more to catch up on. 1 hour in. 2 more hours to go with the voice. Take a quick break. We'll be back after these few words. Second hour kicking off on this Victory Monday. What up, everybody? Good morning, and appreciate you tuning in and making us a part of your start this morning. I'm loving the positivity. Surveyor Sam, morning DK. What a beautiful morning we have. This win not only gets this monkey off the back of the pack, but off of all Packers fans as well. It's going to be a great week for everyone. Can't wait for Thursday. I love the positivity, Surveyor. Love it, baby. This feels good, right? Feels good. Coming up in just a little bit, we'll change gears here a little bit. Talk a little hoops, talk a little college football there too. Badger football team falling to Iowa, 24-10. Bucks falling against the Spurs on Friday, but still number one in the East, 10-2. They'll be back at it for their third game already on the season, going up against the Atlanta Hawks. So, plenty of other stuff to get to. No JC and EC Justice Cleveland here this morning. I know he was over at Green Bay too, late night for him. We're here though, right? You know what I mean? We're here though, Justice. All right, man, I got to call you out a little bit. But as we mentioned in the first hour there too, shout out to Eau Claire Regis and Mondovi for advancing to state football. Eau Claire men's soccer, UW Eau Claire men's soccer, winning their first game, second year for the program, getting the national tournament, winning their first game against Luther, falling to Gustavus in penalty kick situations. So fantastic start to their program there. Blue Golds football, stout football, ending their seasons in losses as well. So kind of now really focusing on the winter season when it comes to the Blue Golds. So, but I know we had state swimming too. Eau Claire Memorial having some success there. So, but yeah, JC probably sleeping in here a little bit this morning. I got a couple of excuse me, I'm going to try to make it through here. Sports nuggets for this morning. Sid Luckman in 1943, Chicago Bears quarterback, became the first to throw for more than 400 yards. He threw for 433 and 7 touchdowns against the New York Giants. 1970, the plane carrying the Marshall University football team crashed. 37 were killed. 1993, Don Shula set a new NFL record with his 325th victory. You know, Bill Belichick is chasing the all-time record from Don Shula right now. Those are just some of your sports nuggets for this morning. We got Jeremy. For all you fair weather Packers fans, just because they won does not mean you are welcome back on the Packer train. Be a fan through good and bad times. Playoffs, here the Packers come. I love the optimism, Jeremy. I love it. Come on. Choo-choo, I'm on that train. I love it, baby. I love it. All right. We'll get back to some more green and gold chats here coming up in just a little bit. Jeremy, is that what's got you fired up here this morning? What's got everybody else fired up from the last week, maybe from the weekend? Hit us up with those text, tweets, or Facebook messages, okay? What's got you fired up? If you're a Vikings fan, I'd be fired up. That was a hell of a win yesterday against the Buffalo Bills. That was a hell of a catch by Justin Jefferson. You want to chime in, Vikings fans? Go for it. I'd be fired up about that too. That was pretty darn. And you know what, Packers fans? We were talking a little bit about it yesterday too. You might have to cheer for Minnesota this week. You know, not to look too far ahead, but you might have to cheer for Minnesota because they're going up against Cowboys. And with the Cowboys now 6-3, kind of seeing how the NFC East is playing out. You know, Giants got another victory. They're 7-2. Philly sitting there 8-0. You kind of want to move up and try to get some of these other teams out of that playoff race. You might have to root for Minnesota against the Cowboys to give the Cowboys another loss. Just throwing that out there. Just throwing that out there. You're looking at maybe the rest of the Cowboys here. Early lines too. This is in Minnesota, and Dallas is a 2-point favorite. But you're looking at the schedule. You got Vikings, Giants. This is the Cowboys here. Just looking at other teams above Green Bay. Just A little bit above. That's why I was really wanting the Chargers to win last night against the 49ers. Vikings, Giants, Colts. Jeff Saturday getting the W in his first appearance as head coach, making all of us look like idiots. Vikings, Giants, Colts, Texans, Jaguars, Eagles, Titans, and the Commanders. If you want to, I guess, kind of look at the playoff picture as it stands for the NFC. Philly 1, of course. Minnesota 2, of course. Seattle, even with the loss to Tampa Bay in Germany. But that was okay. I didn't know they did this. I was watching the game on the way over to Green Bay. But the fact that the whole stadium sings, "Take me home, country roads, to the place I belong, West Virginia," John Denver. The fact that the whole stadium sings to John Denver, flipping fantastic. Well done, Germany. Well done. That was awesome. So even with the loss, Seattle 3, Tampa 4, division leaders there. And then your wild cards are the Giants, the Cowboys, and the 49ers. 49ers, that final wild card spot right now at 5-4. Washington sitting at 4-5. They are in the 8th spot, but they've got the Eagles tonight, so they could drop to 4-6. But right behind them is Green Bay at 9. Green Bay moved up. I think it was 3 spots after that win yesterday. Atlanta's at 4-6. Arizona's at 4-6. So they're not out of it yet. Not out of it. Big win. Big win yesterday for Green Bay. They need a little bit of help. They got to take care of their own business. This don't mean nothing though. They got a brutal schedule coming up. They got to take care of their own. They're going to need a little bit of help, but they got to take care of their own first. But if you're wondering because there's a lot of tie-breaking scenarios in this thing. Green Bay gets the tiebreaker over Atlanta on strength of victory. They get the tiebreaker over Arizona based on best win percentage in conference games. That's kind of how it all breaks down. But I'm looking at the 49ers schedule coming up here. They got the Cardinals. And they got the Saints. Then they got the Dolphins. And then the Buccaneers. Then at Seattle. Commanders, Raiders, Cardinals. Oof. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Excuse me. All right. Quick hoops chat. So, Bucks. We want to rewind it a little bit to Friday. No Giannis, no Holiday. They fall to the Spurs, dropping their second game of the year. They'll be back at it tonight for their third matchup, going up against the Atlanta Hawks. So see, who's going to be active and who's going to be suited up in this game. Tip time is at 7 p.m. Coverage will begin here on the radio dials of 105.1 FM and 790 AM. About 30 minutes prior. I know they say scheduled time is at 7. Tips usually a little bit after that, about 10 minutes or so. 10 minutes or so after that. So I have to imagine maybe Giannis will be in this game. We'll see. But saw the other day too, Grayson Allen's name again popping up on trade rumors. We talked about it with the Jay Crowder sort of thing. Then it kind of quiet, but kind of resurfacing here a little bit. According to Yahoo Sports, Milwaukee has called numerous teams about Grayson Allen's trade prospects. Jake Fisher has reaffirmed Milwaukee's interest in Jay Crowder, as many teams are still interested in Jay Crowder. And that kind of seems to be the big name out there that may be available on the trade market in the early parts of the season. But if we believe these reports, general manager John Horst for the Bucks still making some phone calls and maybe kind of getting the gauge of interest for Grayson Allen right now. Like, what's he worth? Going out there and kind of getting a price? What's he worth to some of these teams right now? So sure, see if the Bucks were going to make a move, if they were going to try to acquire somebody, Grayson Allen is the trade chip right now. And remember, we visited this a couple weeks ago. The NBA's got weird trade rules, right? Like, so if they were going to trade a Pat Connaughton or a Jordan Nora, they'd have to wait until December, January because of they signed contracts. Grayson Allen is really the only guy that's available right now you could trade him now for something, because you ain't trading Giannis, you ain't trading Drew Holiday, you ain't trading Middleton, those obvious ones. You're not doing that. So realistic trade options, if you were to make a move today, it would have to almost involve Grayson Allen. Now, you got, if you like Google Grayson Allen trade rumors, you've got all these team blogs out there that, like, oh, could Grayson Allen be a fit for our team? And, do it here, and would it work? And what would you give up? And that sort of thing. And you kind of wonder, too, is Grayson Allen being floated out there as a trade prospect? Because once you have a guy like Joe Ingles coming back, Pat Connaughton coming back, obviously Chris Middleton coming back, where's the playing time going to come from? The rotations. And when you look at this Bucks lineup, when Middleton does come back and he's ready to go, he'll be a starter. But if they do move on from Grayson Allen, depending on, and a lot of it would depend on who they acquire with Grayson Allen. But then you have to ask the question, who's the two guard? And the way that Carter's playing, do you go with almost a 2-point guard backcourt? You got George Hill still coming off the bench. We know Mike Budenholzer loves George Hill. But could you see, maybe, do the Bucks go with a little bit of a 2-guard backcourt? Potentially? I don't know. And again, a lot would depend on, because if you trade for Crowder, you probably insert him into your starting lineup. He's a 6'6", wing type of player there. But I would not be surprised. Like right now, I would say it's like a 55. No, well, mostly 60%. I think 60% chance Grayson Allen is not going to finish this season with the Bucks. With this much chatter that's apparently going on, with this much, noise, with his name being surrounded out there, I think at some point it's going to happen that Grayson Allen's going to be traded to another team, whether it's for Jay Crowder, whether it's for somebody else. But it sure seems like Grayson Allen's going to be on the outs. But yeah, third time against Atlanta already. When's the next? Do they get a nice break from Atlanta after this? I'm getting kind of tired of always talking about Bucks in Atlanta. Let's see here. Doesn't look like they play them in December. How about January? Okay, January might be the next time. Okay, it is what it is. But, that Cleveland game maybe loses a little bit of luster that's coming up on Wednesday because the Cavs have been on a 4-game losing streak. They're struggling here right now, but maybe that's the best time for the Bucks to go up against them too. And then you got Philadelphia on Friday, and Joel Embiid just dropped over 50 the other night too. So again, another Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule here this week for the Bucks. Same thing for next week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I know they got a Sunday game going up against Dallas on the 27th. So, all right, we got to take a quick break here. Let's talk a little college football. Badgers falling to Iowa. Jimmy Leonard, though, calling but not calling out teams for tampering. We'll explain that in case you missed it over the weekend. What's got you fired up, nation? Let me know. Hit me up with a text, tweet, or Facebook. This is the time of year where we start to look back on our lives and think about all the things we're thankful for in our lives. And for me personally, there are many things to be thankful for. And one of them being that I've got a good roof over my head. But there are many people out there who can't say the same thing. And Chippewa Valley Habitat for Humanity is trying to change that. Chippewa Valley Habitat for Humanity, the affiliate here in town, was founded in 1991 and has built over 40 homes and repaired dozens of existing homes in the Chippewa Valley. Habitat homeowners help build their homes alongside volunteers and pay an affordable mortgage that works for them. And you can help them too. One way is volunteering, either helping with homes, fundraising, or in different areas like the Restore. By shopping at the Chippewa Valley Habitat for Humanity Restore, the proceeds go to help fund home builds and repairs for families in our area. And if you have a donation like a couch, building supplies, appliances, and more, you can donate them to the Restore and help keep items in stock. You personally can help make a difference in a family's life. You can help a family be thankful that they have a good home to live in. For more details on Chippewa Valley Habitat for Humanity, just visit cvh4h.org and make sure you're following their Facebook page. All right, let's chat a little college football here. Badger football falling to Iowa. First of all, a couple of texts coming up here. I agree with you, living the dream, Jeff. Watch the Bucks game on Friday. I understand why they lost. Those Spurs uniforms are ugly. Yeah, that took me by surprise too. Pop that up. I'm like, are they playing old school Memphis or something? What's going on here? Yeah, those were not cool. The Honorable Travis from A-Town. Big win. Awesome to see them fight and not give up. Piece of advice for maintaining your voice at Lambeau. Don't try to cheer loud in the C-bomb. He's got a high motor. Dude's got a whistle that will make your ears bleed and is loud. And again, I'm usually fairly quiet at games. Like I'm just kind of taking it all in and focusing. But I was into that one. I was just desperate for a win, and I wanted it. I wanted it bad. All right. College football though. After the game, Jimmy Leonard calling out, but not calling out teams for maybe tampering with some of his players. Quote, I would never accuse any teams of tampering with your players, but teams are tampering with other teams' players. This is a comment, or Leonard's comments come after rumors that Braylon Allen has been in contact with Michigan about a potential transfer. The Journal-Sentinel also reports that USC may be a team to monitor for Braylon Allen. Jimmy Leonard also went on to say, unfortunately, we have to recruit our own team every day right now. It is unfortunate to see where it's at, but I have to continue to show a clear vision. I've mentioned it a number of times. The uncertainty is going to cause people to look and see what the best decisions for their future are. We have to be real about that as coaches. That is why we have conversations almost daily with our team about what the plan is, and how we're going to get there. Braylon Allen, for his part, has denied the rumors. He does have a friend that plays for the Wolverines, but he has not been in contact with Michigan. Braylon Allen telling the Journal-Sentinel, that is the honest truth. I haven't had any contact with them. The fact that rumors sprouted up is surprising to me, especially Michigan specifically. And Braylon Allen kind of giving a vote of confidence, or maybe kind of showing the Badger decision makers who he wants as head coach by saying that in a radio interview on Friday, that as long as Jimmy Leonard's the coach, I'll be here too. So another vote of confidence, or I should say a vote for giving Jimmy Leonard the full-time job as head ball coach at the University of Wisconsin. So got that going on for Wisconsin, which is nice. And kind of reading those comments too from Jimmy Leonard. Does it almost sound like he's like, can we just name me as head coach right now? Please just name me as head coach right now so we can stop this. Come on, just do it. Just do it. and then we can stop about this. We can go about our business, and we can, focus on the recruiting and all that sort of stuff. We don't have to put that out there. We don't have to worry about this anymore. If we're reading between the lines here a little bit. So I reread this quote. Unfortunately, we have to recruit our own team every day right now. It is unfortunate to see where it's at, but I have to continue to show a clear vision. I've mentioned it a number of times. The uncertainty is going to cause people to look and see what the best decisions for their future are. So, I know they got to go through the whole hiring process, right? They got to do it. They got to do it. But I would have to imagine, I would hope that, excuse me, I would hope that as soon as, if the plan is to open the, do the post it and blah, 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 start that process as soon as the regular season is over with, I would hope they would do it the day after the Minnesota game so they can get this thing done, signed, sealed, and delivered and move on. Just hire the man. Just do it. Give him the job. We all want it. Players want it. He deserves it. Let's just do it. I know they gotta go through that whole process, but I wish they could just start the process now and get this thing rolling here a little bit. But just 2 more games left in the regular season. Badgers had a chance to maybe make things a little bit more interesting in that Big Ten West. I mean, you look at the Big Ten West, it's kind of like, well, some of these NFC or NFL divisions right now. Bunch of average at best teams in there. You got Purdue, 4-3. Illinois, Iowa, Minnesota. Those teams up at 4-3. Wisconsin, 3-4. Talking about their conference records. Purdue's overall 6-4. Illinois 7-3 overall. Iowa 6-4 overall. Minnesota 7-3 overall. Wisconsin sitting there at 500. I mean, they had a chance to make things real interesting. If they would have gotten that W, they would have joined that group of Purdue, Illinois, Minnesota with a 4-3 record. But yeah, now you got Nebraska, and I think if you're a Badgers fan, you're probably maybe like, okay, let's focus on not to look too far ahead because I don't think you want to lose against Nebraska. You don't want that, right? You don't want to lose against Nebraska, but I think now Bucky fans are like, let's get that axe from the Gophers in Camp Randall. Let's get that axe. But looking at the rest of the college football landscape as we head into the final couple weeks of the regular season. All right, got 1 more hour and a half, boys. Figure it out. But not a whole lot of, I'm kind of looking at the rankings. Georgia doing their thing, Ohio State, Michigan, TCU, Tennessee on the outside looking, Alabama. When you're looking at what they did this past weekend, squeaking by Ole Miss, 30-24. Oof. But then they've got that typical Alabama, hey, let's schedule this game in towards the end of the season, Austin Peay. And then you got Auburn at the end of it. But right now, when you're looking at these final couple weeks here, that Ohio State-Michigan game, cherry. That is the thing that's going to be cherry. As long as Michigan can take care of business against Illinois and Brett Bielema this weekend. But that, I would have to imagine, would probably decide. I don't know. I mean, could whoever loses that game, could they still sneak into the college football playoff? I guess a lot would have to depend on what happens behind them. You got Tennessee with 1 loss, but that was against, Georgia. And they've got South Carolina and Vanderbilt left. That's going to be the interesting thing. Like Michigan, maybe it kind of depends on how the game goes for Michigan and Ohio State. TCU, You're looking at their upcoming schedule. They've got Baylor. They beat Texas this past weekend, 17-10. Baylor, Iowa State. See how they finish their regular season. But I don't think Alabama's going to squeak in. LSU's got a couple losses. Could they squeak? USC, could they squeak in there? USC's upcoming schedule. UCLA, okay, that could be a big time game. Notre Dame's back into the ranking up there at 20. LSU, UAB, Texas A&M, Georgia, maybe. Maybe a little bit of uncertainty in the back end for that college football playoff, those last couple spots. Just maybe. All right, tell you what. Let's take a quick break, our final break for the second hour. Your motivational Monday. What performance or who or what has got you motivated? Could be from this past weekend, could be from the past few days or so. What's your pick for our motivational Monday? All right. We'll take that break. Somebody switch the chair around here too, and it's making weird noises. Figure that out. All right, we'll be back after these words. Sounds like we might get some snow in the forecast here, which is a good reminder that with the winter season coming up here, school closings, and that might be on the horizon here. So don't forget, you can always stay up to date with the latest school closings and delays at our website, sportstalk1051.com. Thanks to our good friends from Service Master Chippewa Valley and Hovland's Heating and Cooling, Heating and Air Conditioning. So make sure you check out if there's any other or any inclement weather. Stay tuned to our website. Morgan from the newsroom there will keep everybody updated. But again, big thanks to Hovland's and Service Master Chippewa Valley. What's up, Clay? Hope you're doing well, Clay from Service Master. All right, let's get the Motivational Monday rolling here. My pick for Motivational Monday, I'm going Christian Watson. I'm going Christian Watson because with his performance yesterday, 3 touchdowns, big catch on the sideline, deep pass for that touchdown, but just maybe some motivation, some confidence, and maybe a little bit of a glimpse into what we could see from Christian Watson. Youngster needs this. You know, you think about it. Last year at this time, he's playing at North Dakota State University. And then he jumps up to the NFL, catching passes from Aaron Rodgers. Maybe sometimes we kind of don't realize just how big of a jump sometimes that is for 21, 22-year-olds. A little bit of an adjustment period. A little bit of big time there. I mean, remember when you were like 21, 22? Yeah, I do. I probably wouldn't have been able to handle that lifestyle. But maybe we got a little bit of a glimpse. It's been an up and down year, mostly down for Christian Watson. Not a whole lot of ups besides, he did have 1 touchdown before heading into this game on that, was it running play, I believe? But seeing him after, dropping the first couple balls in the game yesterday and then bouncing back and kind of displaying that he can be a deep threat, even making some plays across the middle of the field. Yeah, I'm motivated by Christian Watson's performance yesterday that let's build upon this. That maybe, because we don't know the future of any of these younger players, but maybe we saw that glimpse yesterday of what he could be. We've seen Romeo Dobbs, the ups and downs. We got to remember these kids are rookies, and not everybody's going to be like a Jamar Chase or a Justin Jefferson coming in as a rookie, lighting it up. And those were 2 first-rounders. We're talking about 2nd and 4th-rounders here. And I know some mocks had Christian Watson as a back-end first-round pick. But also, if you remember the draft profiles, too, there was a little bit of rawness. And Christian Watson almost kind of does remind me a little bit of MVS in the early days. MVS issues, dropping the football early on, right? Heck, James Jones did. Devontae Adams did. A lot of these receivers did in the early parts of their career. But that's my Motivation Monday. That's my Motivational Monday pick. Christian Watson. I'm motivated by Christian Watson and what the future could hold for that youngster. How about you? The rest of you. You can make some picks if you want. We're going to get to studs and duds coming up just past the 8 o'clock hour here. So who's made your studs and who's made your duds list? You can hit us up with a text on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line, 715-830-1912. On Twitter at DANKASPER. Facebook.com/Kasper Sports as well. Or you can comment on the video stream, which is up on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. You can do that too. Should have a good list of studs and duds, right? Should have a good one over there. Looking across as we finish up this second hour here this morning, we're looking across the NFL. Obviously, we're talking a lot of Pack. We mentioned that Minnesota-Buffalo game yesterday. But looking at some of these other outcomes here, the Colts getting a victory in Jeff Saturday's first appearance. Talking about one of the most disappointing teams this year. Look at the Raiders. And I know they didn't have Darren Waller and Hunter Renfrow yesterday, but still, come on. I mean, come on. You're 2-7 this year. You go out and you obviously make the move with Devontae Adams. You make that trade. You make that signing. You make the move to acquire Chandler Jones as well, the edge rusher, from formerly of, I guess, from the Cardinals. And you look at his year so far this year, he's played in 9 games, but just 12 little tackles and a half sack. That's been disappointing. And, Josh McDaniels, his second run. You kind of think about, and I know it's maybe not fair to him, but you think about a few years ago when Green Bay, before they hired Matt LaFleur, like, I was I'll admit it, I was intrigued, and my first choice would have been Josh McDaniels. Seeing what he did in New England, the offense that he kind of built around an aging quarterback of Tom Brady, getting the ball out quick, that sort of thing. Can you implement that with Green Bay? And who knows maybe his career would be a little bit better if he got that Packers coaching job, and depending on how he built it. I don't know. Who knows? We'll never know. But now it's like, maybe good that they didn't hire him as head coach. But you just think about it too, like all the assistants that have come from Bill Belichick. It hasn't been good. All the assistants that have gone on to be head coach. Romeo Crennel, Josh McDaniels, his first run with Denver. It's like, okay, a little young. Then he goes back and works a little bit under Bill. You're thinking, okay, he's learned and all that. And who knows? I mean, this first year, we'll see. Give him another shot, see what happens next year and that sort of thing. But you look at some of the assistants and when they've gone on to be a head coach, and that tree isn't good. We talk about coaching trees. You look at an Andy Reid coach tree. You look at a Mike Holmgren coaching tree. You look at the Shanahan coaching tree. You look at the Bill Belichick coaching tree. And it just kind of makes you wonder, like, how hands-on is Bill in that franchise, in that building? Whereas, I mean, is he like doing everything over there? Because these assistants, they've been struggling when they leave New England to go be head coaches. Brian Flores, I mean, is it safe to say that maybe he might have been so far the most successful assistant coach to go on and be a head coach? I mean, he's got a 24-25 overall record. And then you look at Miami this year, but they spent a boatload of cash to surround McDaniel with some talent. Who knows? But the Raiders, for all the moves that they made in the offseason, you're sitting at 2-7. It ain't good. Colts, Jeff Saturday, even though in his presser said Sam Ehlinger was going to be the starter. Nope. Surprised a lot of people and gave her to Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan, the starter. 21-28, 222. Good to see Jonathan Taylor out there, though. 22 carries for $147. Elsewhere across the league, excuse me. So we mentioned a little bit that Seattle tried to make a late comeback. By the way, Tom Brady throwing the interception towards the end of the game. Just 3 away from tying Aaron Rodgers' record for most consecutive passes without an interception. Looked like Brady was going to break it in that game, but that late interception cost it. He ended up at 399. Aaron still holds the record at 402. Detroit with the back and forth with Chicago getting a victory. 2 wins in a row, baby. 31-30 over the Bay. Justin Fields again running the football. 13 carries for 147 yards, 2 touchdowns. Also threw for a couple touchdowns too. Denver, another loss, this time against Tennessee, who will be the Packers' opponents coming up on Thursday. Kansas City, 27-17. Miami dominating Cleveland 39-17. The Giants picking up another win against Houston. Pittsburgh defeating the New Orleans Saints 20-10. Rams losing in the battle of backup quarterbacks against the Cardinals. Excuse me. at Colt McCoy, 238, 1 touchdown. Wolford passed for 212 and 1 touchdown. You're looking at the Rams right now, too, 3-6, defending Super Bowl champions. And then Chargers falling to the 49ers last night. 49ers back at 500. And then we'll see Washington taking on Philadelphia tonight. Can Philadelphia remain undefeated? Can Washington inch a little bit closer to being in that playoff run? They're the first team on the outside looking in. So, Packers fans, you got to cheer for Philly tonight. Sorry, C-Bomb. Sorry, C-Bomb. You're going to get that tattoo. Just might as well face it. You're going to get the tattoo. You need Philly to win now. Help you out a little bit in the standings. So, just saying. Sorry, bud. Maybe you can coax that person and buy your way out of it or something. They don't have to get a 4th and 26. Just throwing out some ideas, man. Trying to help you. So, that's kind of your rundown from yesterday. But, yeah. Couple of good games there. That Buffalo Minnesota one, I wasn't able to catch it from beginning to end, but watching a little bit of it at the tailgate party, and then towards the end there, holy moly! If you're a Vikings fan, you've got to be pumped up. You've got to be jacked up right now. Why not? You should be. Only got 1 loss this season. You beat Buffalo. Justin Jefferson with that freaking catch. Whew. That dude is special. Man alive. Heck of a performance in overtime. And then, Buffalo stops them or, gets the ball at 4th and 1, and then they fumble it, and then Minnesota scores. And then Buffalo goes down and ties it up with a field goal. Hey. A lot of people are calling that the game of the year so far. But you look at now like a team like Buffalo, and I don't know if it's a little bit similar to what went on last year, but remember last year they were on that little bit of a rough stretch where there was actually some talk, could they miss the postseason? Well, Buffalo has now just lost 2 in a row. They're down to 6-3. You look at the AFC East, for crying out loud. Buffalo's in 3rd. Miami's number 1 at 7-3. The Jets, 6-3. They just beat Buffalo. And then you've got Buffalo at 6-3. Then New England sitting at 5-4. The AFC East is up for grabs. A little over halfway through the season. AFC North, Baltimore, 6-3. Cincinnati, 5-4. AFC South, I'd still say it's the Titans to lose. But, if the Titans lose and then Indy picks up another win, Indy would be 5-1 for crying out loud. So I guess don't count them out. The AFC West, which I think is disappointing a lot of people. Kansas City, 7-2, doing their thing. Chargers, 5-4. That's a Chargers big game for them coming up this weekend against Kansas City. Denver and Raiders, 2 of the biggest disappointments so far this year. You're looking at the NFC East. If Washington can somehow get a victory tonight, that makes things in that division maybe a little bit more interesting. The North, it's the Vikings. They're going to win it. Let's just be real. Vikings, they're running away with this thing. And then the NFC West is still up for grabs. What did I say? San Francisco's 5-5. They're 5-4. I misspoke. But San Francisco 5-4. Seattle 6-4. Cardinals 4-6, and then the Rams, defending champs, bottom feeders. Oof. I can say a lot of maybe mediocre teams across the NFL, at least at this point. So, all right, we got about a minute left till that shot clock cuts us off. So we'll kick off the next hour with a little studs and duds. You guys can play along. Send me your studs and duds. Then we'll get back to a little Victory Monday with the green and gold, picking up the huge W in Mike McCarthy's return to Lambeau Field. Overtime victory. Packers, to me, showed a lot of grit. They grinded that thing out. Down 14. Looked like they're going to be down 14 earlier in the game, 14-0. But down 14 in the 4th. It was the offense that was able to put up 14 points to tie it up and kick the game-winning field goal in overtime. Maybe just holding on to a glimmer of hope yet for the rest of this season. But we'll get back to that convo. And then we got to move on to Tennessee, people. Tennessee's coming on Thursday, so don't have a whole lot of time to enjoy it. But I bet you that ball club last night, LaFleur and company, they enjoyed it last night for sure. So we'll get back to that too. All right, one more hour. Hopefully the voice can last. Quick break. We'll be back in just a couple minutes as we continue a Victory Monday for the first time in like 5 or 6 weeks, it seems like. No, it is 5 or 6 weeks. All right, quick break. We'll be back. Final hour kicking off on this Victory Monday. Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing on this Victory Monday? Appreciate you tuning in wherever you may be tuning in, however you may be tuning in, whether it's on the radio. Got a couple dials there at 105.1 FM, 790 AM. Online at sportstalk1051.com. Get your Google and Alexa home devices, the Sports Talk app, Facebook Live video, YouTube Live video, also available on Twitter over there too. But yeah, feeling pretty good on a Victory Monday. Haven't had a lot of these. So that's why we're really enjoying this one though. But before we get back to a little green and gold chat, you know what's up. So I got a couple of studs here, and really only one dud. But studs, I've already kind of talked about him a little bit, but Justin Jefferson is just an absolute stud. If you have not seen that catch that he made yesterday, that is a ridiculous one-handed grab. I mean, Minnesota, you got to be, I know you are pumped about this kid. He is going to be a thorn in the side for the Packers for years to come. This is a special player. So Justin Jefferson, grade A stud. Yesterday, Rudy Ford, stud performance from him. Packers changing it up a little bit on defense, moving him to safety, putting Savage more into that nickel spot, but making a couple plays there. The 2 interceptions, obviously, but it's just his reaction, hitting the holes quicker, instincts looked a little quicker. So Rudy Ford, stud yesterday too. You could put Christian Watson on there. I already picked him for my motivational Monday. So, and then I mentioned it earlier, but Munich, Germany fans with that football game. I mean, when you bust out and the whole stadium busts out in a little John Denver, that's a stud performance by the fans in Germany. So well done. Well done. I want to go to a game there just to partake in a little, country roads. Sing along with the rest of the stadium. Well done. Fantastic. So my duds, I'm going with the Raiders. I just, kind of talked a little bit about them, but I mean, come on. What is going on? I know you had injuries to Waller and Hunter Renfrow, but still, you're going up against the Colts for crying out loud. Devontae still put up numbers. You still got Josh Jacobs. You got to do better. You've got to do better. That was a dud. I mean, the Colts were kind of the laughing stock, and I know they probably used that as motivation. And motivation is a dangerous thing when it comes to if you use it right. I mean, it can propel you to some great heights in that. But, I mean, come on, Raiders. What is going on here? What are you doing? Dud of a performance. So, dud too. I'll put Amari Rodgers on there. Dude, four fumbles on returns this year. Earlier in the game, he had a bobble one too. I mean, it's not comfortable out there when he's out there. Earlier in training camp, preseason, it was like he's doing fair catching too early, not returning it, not trying to improve starting field position. But now it's just you're holding your breath that he's going to hold on to the football and make the catch. Like that fumble last night, he had some room to run, right? But the direction he took, it's like he just ran into the tacklers, the blocking unit, and then boop, ball pops out. It's like, oh my, I'm sorry, kid, but it's just not working in Green Bay. It's not working. It's got to be time to move on. And at this point too, it's like you look at your wide receiver depth, and it's a little sketchy. You got Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb should be able to come back. I don't know if it's going to be this week. It should be by next week. So, I mean, you'll have another receiver, slot type of receiver there. But I don't know. You can't keep putting him back there, right? I mean, you can't do it. You can't do it. So, Mari, sorry, man. Got to put you in the duds list. Got to do it. All right. If you didn't hear a little bit of the inside the locker room after the game, you want to talk about motivated. Here's a little motivational Matt LaFleur after the win. Oh, now you're not going to play? Okay, let's bring it up here again. But this was Coach Matt LaFleur.
Give it up for yourself, Coach. That is what it's supposed to feel like, what it's supposed to look like. You talk about a total team effort, all three phases, down 14 points in the fourth quarter, but nobody blinked. We stuck together. We were having fun out there playing ball, man. That's what it's supposed to be like. I'm so proud of you guys. I'm getting really emotional right now. It's been a rough. You guys battled your ass off. You come to work every day ready to get better and better and better, and we're sticking together through the tough times. All right? So proud of you guys. There was so much great leadership on that field. The most powerful teams are player-led. We say it all the time. And you guys led the way.
There you go. A little bit audio courtesy from Packers.com. Emotional Matt LaFleur, and we played a little bit earlier at his presser. A little emotional. Talking about too. Just looks like a man, looks like a coach who, this last month plus, it's been poo-poo, as we like to say. The clean version of the other word. It's been poo-poo. It hasn't been good. It hasn't been fun. It's been frustrating. I mean, and then you finally, you get a big win against a playoff team, a team that not a lot of people probably gave you chances. Although Vegas, we were kind of joking on Friday. It's like, why is it only 4.5, 5, depending which one you're looking at? It should be more. Well, Vegas never lies, I guess, but still, you could just sense it was kind of like like you could take a deep breath now. You could just kind of let it out. It's like, taking the monkey off the back. Because Matt LaFleur, in his very early career, hasn't had to go through a stretch like this of losing 5 games in a row. And to do it last night against, the return of Mike McCarthy and the Dallas Cowboys, a team that, will probably make the postseason. They're getting all the attention with Odell Beckham Jr. and all the love there. And, bring Odell to Dallas, to Big D, get that star on his helmet. So it just felt like it was like, you could just tell it was like a big sigh of relief from Coach yesterday. But on to Tennessee. Well, not for us fans. That's the rule. We get a little bit longer time. Team-wise, that was last night. Now you're moving on to Tennessee today. Fans get to enjoy it a little bit more. Team-wise, you got to get ready for Tennessee on that quick turnaround, okay? No letdowns. You can't afford a letdown now. But, we talked about individual players, team-wise, and that in the first hour. But if you're just joining us and you want to give us your thoughts on the game from last night, hit us up with a text on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line, all right? 715-830-1912. I'd said it in the first hour. But that was probably, and I'm trying to go back to my memory bank, but that was one of and I'm not usually, if anybody's gone to like a game with me, I'm actually pretty quiet. I'm very quiet when I go to a game in Lambeau or Brewers or wherever. I'm pretty quiet. I'm just like focused on, I'm watching it. I'm watching different things. But I was pretty jacked up after that game last night. I was pumped. And I think a lot of it had to deal with the fact that, when you go to the last few years, you go to Lambeau, you kind of expect to win. Or at least the games I've gone to, it's like, you kind of expect to win. Or you're favored to win or whatever. So you go into this game and what you look the last few weeks. Come on, voice. You look at these last few weeks, and it's been poo-poo. Not a lot to cheer for. Been frustrating. Been downright bad. You go in and there, it's like, okay, well, we'll see if they got a shot. Maybe make it close or something like that. And you're down 14-0. Looked like you're going to be down 14-0 early in the game. You get the big time pick. They capitalize on all that stuff, and I was just jacked up after the game. I was pumped to see a performance like that. I was excited. And it's still going to be a huge mountain to climb to try to get back in this postseason thing. They've got a brutal schedule. Just a absolute brutal schedule coming up here. We'll see. That's why sports is so awesome, because we can banter and debate about it and do all these predictions. But you know what? It gets decided on the field or on the court. It gets decided by the teams. It doesn't get decided by us. It doesn't get decided by the fans or the talking heads out there. It gets decided by the teams. I don't know what's going to happen in these final, what are they at? 7 more games? I don't know what's going to happen. But that's what makes sports so awesome, because it gets decided on the field or on the court. So anything can happen. It's going to be a tall mountain. We know that. It's going to be tough. Let's battle it out, though, baby. Let's grind it out. Let's go down swinging. Let's just take care of our own business and see where it lies after it's all said and done. Get through these next 3 weeks. Rest up for the last 4. Man, these are going to be some tense games, though. You know, after a game like that, you kind of put yourself back into position. You know, I was thinking about this last night, though, too. Like, let's flip it. If Green Bay had beaten Detroit, but say lost yesterday to Dallas, would there be maybe just a little bit more? Because they're still a little pessimistic out there, and I totally get it. They're still a little pessimistic about the chances of getting to the postseason and all that sort of stuff. And like, how the hell are you talking about going to the postseason when you're sitting there at 4-6? Well, it's because the rest of the NFC is not that great either. You know, you got the 2 tops with Philly and Minnesota. You got the Giants. They're sitting at 7-2. But you got a lot of mediocre teams after that, too. And there's a chance. But I was thinking about this last night. It's like, you know, after that Detroit game, it was just like rock bottom. Even Aaron said it was like rock bottom. I mean, it just ugly. Bad taste in your mouth. Ugly. And then you beat Dallas. But I was thinking about this last night. It's like, okay, if they beat Detroit but beat or lose to Dallas, is there as much pessimistic fans out there? You know, it's like, oh, okay, we still got, you know, took care of Detroit. Yeah, tough game against Dallas, but still I think that Detroit taste is still really bitter in a lot of fans' mouths. And I totally get it. I totally understand it. That was awful against Detroit. I mean, that was just downright awful. You got a lot of what ifs or whys from some people. Like, you put up 31 against Dallas's D, yet you can't put up like 20 against Detroit's defense. What the heck is going on here? But maybe like what Aaron said after the game, maybe they found their rhythm. Maybe they found what works for them on offense. Maybe they found something. Who knows? We won't know until Tennessee and Philly. We got to see it more than once. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll get into this a little bit more. Want to hear from the rest of you, though. Hit me up with some messages, okay? Might have to make some more tea here. All right, quick break. We'll be back after these words. Guys fired up for the opener coming up on Saturday? Don't forget, if you're having any luck, send those picks up to the Tilden Gun Trophy Board, okay? Visit our website, sportstalk1051.com, and you can check out the current trophy board that's up there now. But if you do have any luck, make sure share it for the rest of us, okay? Share it for the rest of us out there. So, but that'll be a lot of fun. I can't believe we're already opening day this weekend. Can't believe it's already coming up here. So, best of luck to everybody that's going to be donning the blaze orange for the starting this weekend for the next 9 days. Best of luck and be safe out there. Okay, so looking forward to seeing everybody's photos and hopefully, just hopefully, a little selfish, but hopefully I'll be able to have a photo to join up the on the trophy board. Fingers crossed it'll happen, baby. Fingers crossed. So, hey, maybe we've got our rallying cry. I missed this after the game when Aaron was doing his post game presser. But 2014 was RELAX, relax. 2016, I feel like we can run the table. Maybe this is 2022's version here. This was Aaron with Tom Rinaldi post game. He said this before he literally walked away from the mic here. Let's see if it'll.
But the biggest thing to remember is we're not dead.
We're not dead. We're not dead. That's the rallying cry for this week. We're not dead, or maybe for the rest of the season. So it's RELAX. Think you can run the table. And now we're not dead. Print the tees. Print the t-shirts. We're not dead. Let's go. We're not dead. I'm for it. I'm for it. A couple more quotes from Aaron, though. He did mention that him and Mike McCarthy met on the field before anybody else was in the stadium. And he said that was a very meaningful conversation and just spending time with McCarthy and such. Can we put to bed the whole narrative that McCarthy or that Rodgers doesn't like McCarthy? Can we just put this to bed now? Can we finally put a little bow tie on it, tuck it in a bed, and just put it away or put it in the closet? Just can we just drop that narrative now? Yeah, there was probably some little bickering back and forth and some issues. I mean, Aaron kind of alluded to, he's like, time heals and time really makes me appreciate the time I had with Mike McCarthy and such. Can we put it to bed that they don't like each other or Aaron doesn't like him? Let's put that away now, right? We're good to go. G-Man, you should get off. Can you print off a couple of shirts by Thursday? We're not dead. Come on, G-Man. Let's see how good you are. Can you get a couple by Thursday's launch, man? We're not dead. But Aaron also had this to say in his post-game press conference. Last week was definitely a low, rock bottom-ish for sure. Not in the depressive isolationism way, but more disappointment. I felt like that was the bottom and was only up from there. I think a lot of battles that we face are between I and I, between the person who can go out there and dominate and knows what they can, and the little voice in your head that tries to knock you off that confident perch that you're on. So I'm happy that I knocked that voice back into hell and had a good performance tonight. All right. Living a dream, Jeff. I think they finally figured out the offensive line, which is the lineup we were wanting well before the organization figured it out. Defense finally started playing more bump and run, man-to-man coverage, which also we were clamoring for in Dallas, was blowing up the umbrella zone coverage yesterday, and finally 12 hopefully realized that he needs to trust the wide receivers he has. Keep feeding them. Seems like Matt is staying with the run game longer as usual. All these reasons will be the key to success. All right, G-Man. I'm putting you to it, okay? Putting you to the task there, big guy. Yeah, you look at, I don't know how many times you can look at a team quarterbacked by Aaron Charles Rodgers where you ran the ball 39 times and threw the ball 20 times, doubling it up. It started up front. When we go back to Friday and we revisit it Friday, what was our first key to victory? was the offensive line, right? It was the offensive line protecting Aaron Rodgers, opening up holes in the running game. And, yeah, Lawrence got a sack on Rodgers, but Micah Parsons didn't get a hit on him. Offensive line, I thought, played well. Yeah, there was a few hiccups here or there, but for the most part, I thought they played well. And I think a big part of that, though, too, was sticking with the run. Not only sticking with the run, you can stick with the run, but having success with the run. Like, I mean, you can stick with the run. You can run the ball for 25 times and get 50 yards, 40-some yards. That's not having success with it. You're sticking with it, but you're not having success with it. Green Bay was sticking with it, but having success with it. Had a nice little trickle-down effect with the passing game. I was looking at some numbers late last night, and, looking at some of the play action numbers that Green Bay ran, I mean, higher percentage rates. When you're having success running the football, the play action thing is going to work. You kind of see it a little bit in the game last night that, yeah, Dallas was playing a lot of, one high, stacking the box. But once Green Bay started to hit a couple of deep passes, you kind of saw them backing out of that a little bit and dropping another guy back once in a while. Kind of saw that a little bit. But it all started with that offensive line and having success running the football. Aaron Jones having a day. Yeah, I know it's going to be incredibly difficult to keep Aaron Jones next year based off his cap hit. And maybe they can juggle that around and maybe they can keep putting money in the future. But Aaron Jones is a special player. His vision is I don't think that gets talked enough about on a national sense. I mean, there was a few plays last night where he's stacked up or he sees it blocked up and he's cutting back or he's going another way. Just watching that in person, I think you kind of take it for granted watching it on TV, but watching it in person, his sense, his vision, I don't think gets talked enough about on a national sense. I know it's going to be hard to keep Jones at that cap number hit that he has next year. But how do you move on from that guy? He is special. Downright special. 24 carries, $138. 5.8 average. 5.8. Had that long with 30-yarder. I'm sure he'll probably get fined for how he entered the zone, shall we say. But, man. And you look at some of his numbers that Aaron Jones has this year. So he's tied for 10th in attempts, yet he's 7th in total rushing yards. He sure looks like he's well on his way to getting over 1,000 yards rushing this year. He's 5.6, though, in average. So let me just kind of bring up who's ahead of him here quickly. Okay, so rushing statistics, average. So Aaron Jones is 8th, right? When we say 8th, yeah. These are like the legit people that are ahead of him. You got like Trenton Irwin, okay? Not many people know him, right? Well, it's because he's played 2 games. He had 1 attempt for 11 yards. So he's number 1 in attempts. Cool. Jeff Driscoll, quarterback, 7.5, 2 attempts. Let's go after the real people, like the legit ones, okay? So if you do quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson's got a 7.4. Justin Fields, 7.2. Josh Allen, 7.0. Rashad Penny's on this list, but again, just 5 games and 57 attempts. Tony Pollard's on there. That's a legit one, 6. Then you got Herbert with Chicago, 6. Nick Chubb, 5.7. Then you got Aaron Jones there. So if we're just looking at the running backs, like full-time running backs, I'd put Tony Pollard in there. You could put Herbert in there too for Chicago. Breece Hall's out for the year, but he was up there. Nick Chubb and then Aaron Jones. 5.8. And, I mean, if we want to look at the attempts, though, too, Nick Chubb's got 160 attempts. Aaron Jones is 10th on this list in rushing attempts at 131. 131. Yeah. Just a special player. I don't know how it's going to be tough. But they got to figure out how to keep that man. Unless they just want to go full on rebuild. I don't even want to talk about that. That's next year. We'll get to that when we have to get to that. But no. But back to it. It started with that offensive line play. I thought they had a solid game. Opening up the running holes, having success with the running game, allowed the passing game to have that success of being able to throw the ball down the field. Defensively, you saw a little bit of a change up here and there. We saw Rudy Ford. I keep wanting to call him. I got to do a quick pause because in my head, I always want to say TJ Ford, former Milwaukee Buck great. But sarcasm. Rudy Ford getting in that lineup. We all kind of thought, okay, with the pickup of Jonathan Abram, that was going to be the natural progression to put Savage out of that safety spot into a nickel role. Now there's probably some people wondering, well, Ford has been here since the beginning of the year. Why couldn't this move been made quicker? But it was Ford who got an opportunity to have more snaps on the defensive side. He took advantage of that thing, made a couple of great plays, especially the pick in the end zone that led to points. Not only that, you take away those picks, but you look at some of the other plays that he made, the instincts, the reaction. We just got done talking about that with Aaron Jones. But how he was hitting the hole, there was one play. There was a play where it was a running back. I think the running back still even got 5 yards, but there was nobody. It could have been more. And all of a sudden, you just see Rudy Ford coming from that safety spot. Boom. Making a play. Taking advantage of his opportunities. We were talking about Friday. It's okay. You don't have the luxury to, quote, play it safe. You've got to unleash some. You got to unleash some things. You got to unleash Christian Watson. Take some risks with it. Throw some deep balls to him. Get him involved. Utilize him. See what you got. Defensively. Change some things up. See what you got. You can't afford to play it safe. You're going to have to be a little bit more aggressive. You're going to have to take some more risks. You're going to have to take some more chances. Green Bay did that a few times yesterday. And Rudy Ford took advantage of his opportunities. Christian Watson took advantage of it. Yeah, he had a couple early drops. They went back to him. He took advantage of those opportunities. Had a career day. And hopefully gained some confidence that he can be a regular contributor now. But yeah, the Amari Rodgers thing. I know that's the big negative, and rightfully so, that a lot of people are pointing at. I don't know how you can go back to him at punt returner. I know Matt LaFleur was non-committal after it, but the fact that Nixon went into the game as a punt returner, I think kind of tells you can't give him any more opportunities, because then you kind of have to start to worry, is it going to creep into Amari Rodgers' head? Is it going to creep into his mind? They can say all the right things, but we don't know what's going on in there. It just ain't working out. Now, I don't know if that means they're going to move on from him this year. I don't know if they're going to release him. I mean, you kind of look at their depth chart, and they might need a lot of bodies. I mean, they could, if they wanted to, promote Juwan Winfrey if they wanted to, but I guess I would be mildly, I shouldn't say that. I could see it going either way. I could see them holding on to Amari Rodgers for the rest of the year. I could see them, today moving on from him. I have no idea. But the one thing is, there's no way for a team who cannot afford to have mistakes. You cannot put a guy out there where you're just holding your breath that he's going to be able to hold on to the football. His one job, hold on to the football. Hold on to it. And you're holding your breath. See if he can just hold on to it. I feel bad for him. I feel sorry. It's just not working out. It's not working out. We were kind of excited when Amari Rodgers was drafted, right? It's like, all right, kind of a utility slot guy. Utilize him in special teams and that. But, I don't know. Maybe Rodgers knew something earlier too, because, he wanted Randall Cobb, and his quote was, to bring a more typical slot player in. And I know Amari was a rookie in that. But, Rodgers never mentioned Amari Rodgers. I got to be careful. Aaron Rodgers never really mentioned Amari Rodgers as a big, factor in the offense. And what was that line he said a few weeks ago? Yeah, he's helping us on special teams or working on special teams, and that's all I got to say. Paraphrasing, but it's like, not a big ringing endorsement there. Maybe Aaron knew something there. You can't put him back there, though, right? You just can't. What are these? We got some numbers. What's it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The Packers. Yeah, you can hear me counting there. I don't have it numbered. This is from the Athletic, but I don't know where they got these data numbers. Packers, 25% chance of making it to the postseason. Odds. Chances of getting in using implied odds from betting markets. Okay. Packers have the 8th best chances of making the postseason, according to that. Eagles, Vikings, Cowboys, top 3. Bucks 4, 49ers 5, Giants 6, Seahawks 7th. Then you got the Packers. Interesting. Okay. What is the Seahawks schedule like coming up here? They got the Raiders. They got a bye, but then they got the Raiders. I don't know what to expect from the Raiders. Rams, who the heck knows? Panthers, who? 49ers, okay. Then the Chiefs, okay. Jets, yeah. Maybe, possibly. I don't know. So, all right. We got to take our final break here. Last call. What else you got? We'll cover the bases. Bucks are back in action tonight. Can they pick up their 11th win to improve to 11-2? It's been pretty quiet on the Major League Baseball front for free agency as well. We'll be back. The other day, I was asked for some input about what type of floor someone should put in their rec room. Should they go luxury vinyl planks like the Rigid Max floors from Carpet City Flooring Center? Or how about one of the many awesome looking styles of carpets at Carpet City Flooring Center? Man, you can go a bunch of different ways with this one. But what they should do, as I told them, they should chat with the team at Carpet City Flooring Center. The knowledgeable and incredibly helpful staff at Carpet City Flooring Center will not only help you select the floor that will look best in your home and budget, but the floor that would function the best in your particular area. That's what they did for me. They helped me select the best color that would not only look good, but last in a heavy traffic area, and the type of floor that would function the best in that area. We all know home improvement projects can be, well, a little nerve-wracking. But the thing is, with Carpet City Flooring Center, they make it so easy and simple that it takes the nerves out of it for you. And don't take my word for it. Look at all the positive reviews left by other happy customers when they simply Google Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire. So if you have any questions or you need help when it comes to updating your floor, look no further than the local experts at Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire. Stop on in today at 3109 East Hamilton Avenue in Eau Claire, which I might have to as well and do a little update into the downstairs. Got some tile that's coming up, so we might have to have the crew at Carpet City Flooring Center help us out there. So, all right, let's cover some bases here. Badger basketball, AmFam Field, Friday. Badgers men's team picking up the W against Stanford to improve to 2-0. They'll be going up against Green Bay tomorrow before game against Dayton on the 23rd. But Tyler Wall, again, 17 points for the Badgers. Jordan Davis contributing 13. Chucky Hepburn with 11. But it was Connor. Like who? Connor. Did you see the pictures, by the way? It's wicked rug burn on his face. But Connor Asijan, with 8 points, but kind of, it seems like every year or every couple years you've got that Badger player that is just like all over the court, making dives, making plays, making some, big moments. He had 8 points, but Connor Asijan, wicked rug like floor burn on his face, and it's like, oh, that's gonna be painful. But he was making some big time plays, getting extended minutes because of foul trouble on Friday night. But yeah, he looks like a player. He looks like a player, kid from Indiana. So again, Badgers will be back at it tomorrow against. Excuse me, I'm really starting to lose the voice. Against Green Bay before going up against 24th ranked Dayton on the 23rd. The Badger women's basketball team also played at AmFam Field. They defeated North Florida yesterday, but going back to their Friday game against Kansas State got the victory 77-63. But the Badger women's basketball team off to a 2-1 start when they beat Milwaukee, lost Kansas State, beat North Florida. They've got Bradley coming up on Wednesday. Bucks are back in action tonight, 7 o'clock tip. It'll probably be a little bit after that, but you'll be able to listen to the coverage starting about 6:30 on the radio dials of 105.1 FM and 790 AM. See if the Bucks get their 11th win against the Atlanta Hawks. Bucks sitting at 10-2 right now. Third time they'll be going up against the Atlanta Hawks. As we mentioned a little bit earlier, Blue Gold men's soccer team, the second year of the program, making a national tournament, got the win against Luther, but fell against Gustavus in the second round there. But congrats, and I only expect that to continue to trend upward for that program, for the Blue Gold men's soccer team. Blue Gold football and Blue Gold football falling to UW Oshkosh in their final game. Stout also falling in their final game of the regular season too. So now we're kind of really shifting gears to the winter season for the Blue Golds. I know basketball and hockey have been underway already, but now kind of really focusing the attention to the winter seasons with the basketball team, hockey, wrestling, gymnastics. Yeah, got actually Blue Gold women's hockey going up against Minnesota State. How about that? That'd be really cool. It's going to be in Mankato, though. So Minnesota State 5-7, Blue Gold women's hockey 5-1 so far in the season. What do we got? So we got basketball tomorrow, and it looks like men's basketball on Wednesday. Wrestling going up against Oshkosh on the 17th, and swimming and diving going on too. All right, what else do we got to cover some of the bases? We got Monday Night Football. Eagles, will they remain undefeated, or can the Commanders hand them their first loss? Doesn't sound like Chase Young will be activated and played tonight. So, guess when you're kind of looking at it for the standings, if you're a Packers fan, just to try to get in the postseason, you're probably cheering for the Eagles tonight to remain undefeated. Give Washington another loss there, since Washington's above the Packers in the standings right now. So got that game going on tonight as well. It's been kind of quiet in terms of free agency with Major League Baseball right now. We'll probably pick up next month with the December meetings. Usually does. But, baseball, they start free agency really quick after the season, but you don't see a lot of signings, coming hot and heavy like the NFL and the NBA and such. But you've had a couple of signings here. They're the Astros. Rafael Montero, reliever, getting 3 years, 34.5. But obviously the big fish of like Aaron Judge and such haven't fallen yet. But maybe we'll get it around owners' meetings. Got a feeling like Aaron Judge is going to take some time. It's not like his price tag is going to be falling or anything like that anytime soon. And this will probably be his last big contract, right? So, got some time to factor this one into it. No doubt. All right. What else? Well, we only got about a couple minutes to the top. So, coming up tomorrow, we'll get a Grind My Gears Tuesday. Think about what's grinding your gears here and send those babies on over on our texting line tomorrow, or you can hit us up on Twitter and Facebook and that sort of thing. But what's grinding your gears? We'll do a little, what else do we got on a Tuesday here? We got to grind my gears. We've got a bench start cut and then a press pass. So have to come up with a good bench start cut for tomorrow too. So we'll hit that up. We'll recap Bucks versus Atlanta. Hopefully a Bucks win. Short week for the green and gold. Believe Matt LaFleur is going to be talking still today. Obviously, practice schedule is going to be a little bit different. I think we'll actually have like a practice report that comes out today that'll be based off of if they held a practice. So like question, not the questionable, the DNPs, the limited, the full participants, that sort of thing. So if they had a practice, it would be based off estimations, that sort of thing. So I would think that, I don't know what their schedule is going to be like, but tomorrow maybe do a little light walkthrough and Wednesday have a practice, or tomorrow a practice and Wednesday a little. Who knows? But it'll be different because we got a quick turnaround. So we got to enjoy the day today, but then it's on to Tennessee. It's on to Tennessee for the team today. Fans get a little bit more of a grace period here. So, but Derrick Henry. What can the Packers do to stop him? Can they do that defensive line? You better be ready. Kenneth Clark, you better be ready. Reed, you better be ready. Dean Lowry, you better be ready. TJ Slayton, you better be ready. Wyatt, you better be ready. You all better be ready for Derrick Henry. Got to slow him down. Get off the field. Don't let them have those 7-8 minute drives. So, but we got plenty of time to break that down in the next couple of days here, right? We got plenty of time. So we'll see if I don't know of too many injuries from yesterday's game, unless I missed anything. But yeah, in case you did miss it too, Eric Stokes was put on IR this past weekend, so his season's probably done, along with Rashawn Gary's. But yeah, I got to double check when Randall Cobb. I don't know if it's this week. It might be next week when he's able to come off injured reserve. But all right, that's going to do it for us on this Victory Monday. Have yourself a Fantastic rest of your day. DP and the Danettes, they're up next. We'll do this again tomorrow, just past 6 a.m. Bench start cut, grind my gears Tuesday, press pass Tuesday. All that's coming. We'll talk to you then.